Maybe we're through with those for the quarter. All right, so this one. I already have Workbench open. Maybe. There we go. I'm going to launch the magnifier, which is not my favorite way to zoom, but I've been too lazy to reset the background resolution. Okay, come on, where are you? Okay. So I actually made a little version of this. Yours does not have to look like mine, but I did it. Do you guys all have Sequila too? Sequila? Sequila is a sample database. If you don't have it, I'll just use my copy of what I did for Python Club, but I think it might be better to do something different for examples. If you don't have Sequila, you got it? I think if you downloaded what I downloaded, you should have it, but it isn't always there. You got it? So I'll use it for an example, just for the examples, just so you know. I don't know why it's named Sequila. Does that word mean something that I don't know? If you look at the tables, so I'm going to close my Python Club, but we could look at it later. It's basically for a DVD rental. So these days that's getting dated. I guess Redbox is still working. But for the most part, you just stream things these days. So, but that's what this is for. It has actor, address, category, city, country, customer, film, film actor, film category, film text. And it has a fair amount. So I'm going to just start a new query. So actually what I want to, I'm just going to hit the plus SQL light there thing. And I'm just going to do select, we'll use Sequila. And I'm going to put a semicolon there. It doesn't complain when you run the thing if you don't use a semicolon, but it will complain when you do the next statement, right? This, unlike the other one, this one wants a semicolon. And it has all my old action outputs there, but at the bottom, it has a little green check, use Sequila. That's how you know a thing that it worked, is it has a little green check down there. I could move this up. I have checks and stuff from my other. You'd think that it would forget my other ones, but it doesn't. So then I'm going to do select asterisk from actor. We'll just see what we have under actor. I'll do a semicolon again. You can highlight and execute, and again, it will execute just that. And you'll see that there are, how many? Should say how many. 200 rows for actors. Oh, I hate the zoom. So there's like 200 actors. The other thing that you can notice is that that is exactly the same as it was in SQL Server, right? SQL is the same across all database platforms, pretty much. At least 90% the same. There are differences, but it's about 90% the same. And it doesn't matter the product. They all conform to the same standards. One difference is the semicolon. MySQL requires it. And actually, that's ANSI standard. Not using it is not. So SQL Server doesn't need it. But does that make sense so far? So this part is the same, and we've done this before where you're just selecting something. Let's do one where we select actor and film. So that's going to involve, what will that involve? You guys remember? Yeah, so it's going to involve joins. So from actor, let's just do first name, last name. And again, okay, and then from film, let's just do we want just the title? Let's do title. And oh, what else do we want? Maybe just release year and rating. Notice that they used a naming convention where they did underscores, whereas I tend to drive things, just use a camel case. And then rating. Okay, so that comes from two different tables. But it's also, they're linked by a linking table. So we're going to have two joins, right? Does that make sense? So first of all, I'm going to say from actor. And I'm going to, you can inner join, the word inner is optional, but we'll do inner join. And if you take the SQL class, you can learn about outer joins and cross joins and things like that. So I'm going to inner join it with film actor. Was that the name of the, yes, film actor. And then we have to say how they relate on actor dot, so let's, I don't even know if you need to do actor. So with actor, it is actor ID equals film actor dot, and let's look under film actor. Actually, they use the same actor ID. And then we need to inner join with film. Not film actor, film. Okay, so on film dot film ID, I presume. Yeah, film ID equals film actor dot film ID. Does this make sense? Does this ring bells? We did this before, except I can't type. Okay. So we're joining, for this one, we're joining three tables. We don't have any fields from the middle table that we're actually including in our query, but we need it because it's linking the two together. This would be like artist and, you know, artist and album with the linking table. Or if you have members, what members are in the, went to attended a particular meeting, there's a linking table there. So this would be pretty much that same syntax. Does that make sense? What questions do you have about that? I see people looking kind of questioning. The word inner is optional, so you could just write join. And when you're doing this, you list all your fields in the select. Doesn't matter what table they come from, it's just the fields in the order that you want to see them. You do from one of the tables. It doesn't really matter what table you say from, but you need to have, it works if you think of the links. I usually try to trace it through. So we're going to go from actor to film actor, from film actor to film because of the way the relations work. You can mix them up, but it makes it more difficult. It's really better to kind of follow the logic. And how do you know the logic? I just looked at the keys, but you could also look at a diagram. I don't think there is a diagram for Sequila, but we're not going to be using that. You could reverse engineer it if you wanted to see the diagram. So Penelope Guinness did a lot of movies, mostly G-rated, I guess. You know, a couple in C. There should be, I'm not sure how many cells that is. It looks like there are 1,000 rows, which is probably right. Different actors did. Let's just look at for one actor. Since it's right there, let's do it for Bette Nicholson. I'll just do where. First name equals Betty, and last name equals single quote. So that should give me only her films. And I'm just curious how many, that gave me 20 rows, which is about right. I think they did about 20 rows per actor. So these are all the films that Betty Nicholson was in. Yeah, the things that the names are really stupid and silly. Beast Hunchback, Bikini Borrowers. That one's NC-17, I see. Calendar Gunfight. Coast Rainbow. Cold-Blooded Darling is a G. Anyway, they had fun making up their titles. Questions on the joins there? So we did these before, right? But I just partially want to show that they're the same. Notice that runs just fine, but the next statement will be have red underlines under it if I don't put the semicolon in there. Also, I don't think, I'm going to highlight this again. F5 doesn't run it. So I'm not sure what the keystroke would be, if there is one.
Control Enter or Control Shift Enter for everything.
Oh, okay. That seems less intuitive thing. Of course, you know, this is made. I'm not in full screen mode. This is was made for Linux initially, so the keystrokes are probably different. All right, so let's do on your assignment. There's quite a few of these where you just, you know, show me your customers. I mean, not your customers. Show me your members, things like that. There are a few that will require some joins, where you just want to bring stuff together. And then there's some inserts, and these again are exactly the same. So I'm going to insert into actor, I guess. What I'm not sure of is I'm going to hit the information there. It didn't really tell me columns. It is auto increment. That's what I was looking for. All right. So that's what you get from information. This won't let you drag in the columns, but you can gather all your fields, just so you know, multi-select them. I'm going to do values, and let's just do, anybody have a good actor to add? We can make up somebody, or you can think of a real actor.
Chuck Manley.
Chuck Manley, that sounds good. That sounds like a porn name too. Would Manley have just one in? I don't know either. I'm trying to remember current date. I think that's what I want. One of the things that changes between different products is the names of the functions. Functions are not part of the standard, they're what they give you. So they can name them what they want. So if I do this, it should insert, it did insert it, and then if we did a quick select from actor, we'd see Chuck Manley at the bottom, and I didn't follow their habit of capitalizing everything. And it gave me the date, but not the time. I wonder if there's a current date time as a function. All right, the other thing you can do, like if we were going to insert into a film, we would then have to do another, insert into film actor. And basically I just need, so for film actor, I think it was just the 2 foreign keys and the update. So actor ID, film ID, and last update. I'm glad this isn't case sensitive. Values. So actor ID we just found is 201, right? The one we just added. The film ID, let's just insert them into 1. And then the last update, I'm going to say current. Why is it not giving me IntelliSense there? Oh, you know why? No semicolon after that. Let's do current timestamp and see if that works better. So we'll insert that. And it says that it worked. So let's do this one again. I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to put a semicolon here. But instead of the name, we'll say where actor ID, and we want to say actor.actor ID equals 201. And just see if they are in a film now. And they are in Academy Dinosaur, which sounds like something from what's that sci-fi show where they sit and watch really bad movies?
Mystery Science Theater.
Mystery Science Theater. Yeah. So inserting is the same pretty much. And you can also do multiple rows by just putting a comma and then a thing at the end. Questions on inserts? You guys have done these. Nothing I've done so far is really new. I don't know a function to get this ID. It may well exist. I just don't know it. Did you know it? I heard somebody. Maybe I was just out there. All right, one thing I want to show you, and this is new. It's really the only new thing, but this is really dangerous, and I just want you to know that. I actually am going to, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to copy all the actors into a new table because I'm going to destroy that table. I want to show you how easy it is to do. So this is something I haven't shown, but I'm going to create table. Let's call it actor B. And I'm just going to, so we'll get the columns from actor. So actors just. So I'm just going to break these out. All right, and then we need to give these types. I'm not entirely sure what the types are on these. 45, 45, and timestamp. Again, you don't have to do this, but so I'm going to make this table, and it's unhappy because I didn't put a semicolon there. So that should have made a new table. Okay, so I've created that. And then I'm going to do, this is a kind of insert you haven't seen, but I'm going to insert into actor B. I'm going to do a parentheses. So actor B should be here now. If I refresh all, actor B, columns. And then I'm going to do select, and I want those same fields from actor, and I will do, actually that should have a semicolon, and then a semicolon. I'm used to SQL Server, I don't do semicolons much anymore. So if I run this insert, it says that it inserted 201 rows. So if I do select star from actor B, no, that doesn't work. I hit F5, but it doesn't work. It has all the actors. Weirdly, they're not in the same order, but I think that's because they're by key, because I included the key. And I didn't include it when I did it. Actually, I did. It's weird that they're not in the same order. But anyway, there they are. This is another way to do a bulk insert, is you can just select everything from another table and copy it over. This is a good idea if you're about to change the table and you're going to delete all the records in it while you make the changes, and then you can copy them back. So this is basically an insert with a select for the, instead of just the values. What I want to do is I want to update this table. I'm going to show you how to do it right, and then I'm going to show you how to do it wrong. Don't do it wrong. It's not as deadly for you guys if you do it wrong. It's just you could ruin one table, which is maybe 4 or 5 records. But in real life, you could ruin a table with literally millions of records. It would be a good way to lose your job, actually. So I'm going to update actor B. And let's just go up to the top. So it's Penelope Guinness still. So I'm going to set last name equals, let's just spell her name a little bit differently. Let's give it 2 ends. And then I'm going to say where actor ID equals 1. Now this is the way you really want to do it, where you have a, you're limiting it with a where clause. When I update it, it will change the actor. So let's go back. So, whoa, it didn't do it.
Oh, that's the actor B. That should be update actor B. Set last name Guinness where actor ID equals 1. That should have changed it. What? I know, but I changed it to 2. Why is it not changed? You are using a safe update mode. Oh, I know why. It won't. It like this isn't a primary key, right? I didn't make a primary key when I did this. This is Workbench trying to protect you from doing a disaster. So I can make a primary key there. You're getting more SQL than you want. Alter table actor B, add constraint pk act. I can't type. So I'm adding a primary key. Theoretically. Let's see if that actually, you don't want the semicolon there. See if that actually worked. Yes. So now this should work. And yes, it's happy. And now if I select it from there, she has 2 ends. And it's lowercase instead of uppercase. Again, it's not case sensitive, but what updates are for changing existing data, right? Inserts are for adding data. Updates are for changing existing data. Like if you wanted to go in and you needed to change your email, right? Then you could do an update. Generally, as a database administrator, you shouldn't give anybody update permissions. You should control it other ways, but usually through a stored procedure, which I'm not going to do for you. Let's do, so we didn't change the date last update. We probably should have done that. So I'm going to say last update. Did it? Yeah, you're right, it did. Well, never mind then.
I think that column had like a
It has a default, yeah. So one of the things though, if you do a comma here, you can update more fields than one. So we did last name. If we wanted to do first name, let's just change it to Penny. So I just wanted to give you the syntax in case you want to change more than one field. You just keep going down. You only use set once, and after that you just do a comma and then the name of the field and its new value. So if I run this, when I run select star from actor B again, it's Penny Guinness instead of Penelope Guinness. Okay, so now I'm going to destroy the table. So let's say we wanted to update actor B. So I'm just going to, so you say update and the table you want to update. And then you say set, and I'm going to say set last name equals Smith. And I'm not going to give it a where clause. And what do you think happens? Everyone is going to be Smith. Oh, except that this protects you from that. No, most environments will not, but I can fix it. I can make it happen anyway. Normally, if you do this, what happens is and the reason they protect you against it is it's obviously a terrible thing. SQL Server will not protect you against this. Oracle will not protect you against this. But for some reason, this does. I could just say where actor ID greater than 0, and you'd have the same effect. See, now everybody is Smith, which is what I usually did make a matrix joke. That was at the third matrix, the worst of them. All right. All I want to say is, in this environment, you're protected against that. It makes you give it makes you have a where clause with a primary key in it. Most environments don't protect you against that. It's a really dangerous command, just to let you know. Typically, the only way to recover from this is to restore from a backup and then restore from the log up to the point where you made your error. Since we have not made any backups, we're just screwed if we've done this to our regular table. All of the things that we've done, insert ads records, it's not too dangerous. You can get some garbage in there, but at least it's only a couple rows at a time usually. Although that select could do that. Anything that starts with the word select up here basically just returns data. There's nothing you can do to harm the table, but update and delete can. And I'll show you delete real quick, and then I'll show you actually a couple of dangerous commands. So if I were to do delete from, I'm just going to say delete from actor. Actually, we can't delete from actor because I was going to delete the actor we just created, but we added him to a film, right? So if I were to say delete from actor, where actor ID equals, and it's again complaining about the semicolon, actor ID equals 201. It won't delete. Does anybody know why that won't delete? So if I look at this, it says delete. It's a red X. It has a foreign key constraint that's related to it. If you have relationships where you have a primary key, foreign key, you cannot delete any record that has child records. Right? You have to delete the children first, which sounds cruel. So we would have to go in and delete the record from the film actor. So if we wanted to do that, we could do delete from film actor, where, and then again, it's a semicolon, where actor ID equals 201. And this one will work. You can delete the child. So notice that worked. Now that it has worked, I can delete the parent. And that worked too. So they're both gone. But generally, you have to delete the child first before you can delete the parent. It's to prevent orphans. Literally, that's what they call a record where its related record has disappeared as an orphan record. But it all sounds very cruel. Yeah.
Can you use rollback?
You should be able to. I don't think it's the same. Oh, I think it's just tran, isn't it? No.
No, it's good.
Well,
You don't have a semicolon.
that might be it. Doesn't like tran. Well, that's spelled wrong. Still doesn't really like that.
So is it just for SQL?
No, there's a way to do it. It's just a slightly different, and I remember that it's slightly different, but not how it's different. If I do commit transaction, I don't think that will. See, it allows this, but to begin the transaction, you also have rollback, right? So I just need the beginning statement. So when all else fails, I'm going to zoom down for this. This isn't super important for you guys, but it could help you be safe, I guess. My SQL manual transaction, which oh, they use start. That's fairly simple. So start transaction. I don't know what I want to do. I don't want to do anything too dangerous because I haven't played with this so much. Well, let's update actor B, set first name equal John, so it'll all be John Smith. Where actor ID greater than 0. Now, did I run start transaction? Okay, that's good to know. Because if you don't run it, it doesn't do you any good. So I start that. And then I'm going to do this. Okay. And I think if I do a quick select from actor B, hopefully they're all John Smith. Now, if I roll back the transaction, I'm going to delete that one. Do I just do rollback? It did the rollback, so they don't use the word transaction there. So when I do rollback, it should undo it. See, it gave back all their names. You can do this. You can start a transaction, and then you can roll back or you can commit. Commit writes it to the database, and there's no undoing after that. Rollback is an undo. In real life, you have to think hard about doing this, because if you manually declare your transaction, when you do start transaction here, you have locked your database, right? So if there are lots of people coming in, they can't get in until you finish your transaction. Now, you can do this in a stored procedure or something because the lock lasts like a nanosecond. But but in here, if I wrote start transaction and went out to lunch, depending on the system, it could be locked for an hour or two. or it might time out after a little while. So this is something that generally you don't want to do in a production database. But for safety, when you're, especially when you're doing it for yourself, if you start a transaction, you can do an update like this and do something stupid, and you still have the option of selecting from it. So when I select from it, when it's still in transaction, I'm actually selecting a temp table. I'm selecting from a table that shows the changes, but the changes have not yet been written to the database. If I say commit, they're written to the database. If I say roll back, it goes back to the way it was before the statement. So that actually is a good protection against the dangers of this. This is the last statement I'm going to show you. This is very dangerous. Nothing in your assignment asks you to do this, but I'm going to drop table actor B. Delete deletes a record, like one row. Drop removes an object. This is going to remove the whole table from the database. So when I drop this, it says that it's succeeded. If I try to select from actor B now, it tells me that it doesn't exist because it's gone. The dangerous thing about a lot of this SQL is that, like, it didn't say, "Are you sure?" Right? It's just gone. And there's most of the stuff, it'll be like that. It won't ask you if you're making a mistake or not. This is another reason, and this is the last thing I'll say before I let you guys go to work. When you log into a database, we've been logging in as administrator in root. That's a really dumb idea. You should log in, you should create a root account that has full permissions, and you should create a second account that has as much permissions as you normally need. And you should go in on the second account, except when you have to do something that requires admin. Because you don't want to accidentally ruin a database. You know, you want to be deliberate about it. So I'm going to I'll copy all this, put it in the blog. I'll come around and help you. We did a lot more here than you have to do in your queries. Right? You're always welcome to play with the Go Farther, though, if you want. As I said, everything you can do in a GUI, you can do in SQL. We've done we've barely scratched the surface. Questions? Okay, so I'm going to give you the rest of the time to enter data, and then if you get done with entering data, you can look at the questions. If there are questions that don't fit the way you've designed Python Club, you can substitute something. I will accept that. If you need a comment, like if you want to comment what you're doing, -- is a single line comment, I think. Maybe not. That usually works. If it doesn't work, you can always do the asterisk / and then close it with an asterisk. Oh, that's wrong. / There we go. That works. The dash should work too. But if it doesn't, you can always do that as a comment. All right, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to stop the video. And I'll post both the video and the